guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. So today I've got in a micro brand watch. It's called Clements watches. They brought out the Photic Diver. It'll be coming out on the 14th of September. So if you're watching this video, it's probably going to be in and around that time, given the fact that I want to try and keep it fresh in your mind and do head over and have a look. It comes in at £429, but you're getting a lot of watch for the price, guys, to be quite honest. I saw him sort of launch his Instagram and his webpage early 2021, and we got talking, and I really just liked the design. Obviously with dive watches at this point, it's very difficult to be unique. It's very difficult to have an original design because most things have been done, but I do think he's onto something with this watch. Thankfully he sent one over. He's now getting to the point where he's going to start producing them, so I've got a prototype in. I've spent a little bit of time with it. I'll just give you a couple of bits of information. Like I said, the gentleman's called Tom. He's the person creating the watch. His inspiration came from the 60s and 70s in terms of the aesthetic of the watch, and what they say, they said it's capable of surviving the photic zone or photic zone. I do apologise for the pronunciation. I think that's the depth you go to in the water. I've been trying to read it, don't understand it massively. I'm not the most intelligent, so it takes me a little while to understand stuff, but yeah, that's what it says. And guys, I've got to say, it runs a Miyota 9039, is it, movement. It's the same as a 9015, except it doesn't have the date variant, and I do appreciate the fact that they've not put a ghost position on this watch, so well done for putting a bona fide high beat movement in, but not sort of cheaping out and just going for the mass produced 9015. Although I do like it, I don't like ghost positions on watches if they don't have a date. But guys, please check this out. Enjoy the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And without further ado, let's get the camera turned around and get on with it. Hi guys, so this is the watch. Again, I would just like to say thank you to Tom over at Clements Watches for sending this over. Yeah, the Photic Diver, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but as I said in the intro, there's been a lot of dialogue between me and Tom for a few months now. And I was blown away really by the design of his watch. So thank you for sending one over. I do appreciate it. This is a prototype, so there will be subtle differences, and I will leave probably a list of those differences up throughout the video, so do pay attention. But yeah, so as I said, this is called the Photic Diver. I'm not sure, again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is the case that it came in. I do know that it's going to be quite a similar case. There's going to be a bit of embossing on there. I'll just put the watch to the side just for a second. You do get a removal a tool to sort of help you size it. Again, nice tool, and it does come with a tropical strap. And like I said, from talking to Tom, he does want to be able to sort of include these, but it will just depend on how well the watch sells on Kickstarter when it goes live, which is in September. So yeah, that's the case. As I said, I think it's really cool, proper leather. Really nice quality, and like I said, the one you get will be quite similar, just have it be embossed with Clements on the actual leather itself. But let me just put that to the side. It was sized for me, but I did have to take one more link out. So Tom, I appreciate you sizing it. Wasn't quite right. I did have to take one more link out. Let me just wipe the dial. But I'm sure you agree, it does look like a really cool watch, to be honest. And for me, as you probably will know, I'm a bit of a sucker for dive watches. They are definitely my preferred type of watch. So I said the Photic Diver, inside it's running automatic movement. It's running an automatic Citizen Miyota 9039. Quite similar to the 9015, apart from the fact that this is not the date version. And I do applaud them for using, where there's no date window, I do prefer it when they don't have ghost positions. So I appreciate the fact that they did invest and actually buy the non-date movement, which is good. The case material, so everything you can basically see, the bezel aside from the insert, crown, case, outer part of the exhibition case back, solid end links, bracelet and mill clasp are all 316L stainless steel. The case thickness of this watch is 12.7 millimeters. The case diameter, when you go from the 8 to the 2, it does become 39.8 millimeters, and when you go from the 9 to the 3, including the crown, it's 42.2 millimeters. The lug width is 20 millimeters, and it does taper down to the clasp to 18 millimeters, And the lug to lug, tip to tip, is 47 millimeters, and there's no protruding metal center links of the end link, so it is 47 millimeters. So wears very compact, so very, very cool. As I said a moment ago, the case back style is exhibition, and as you probably can see, if I can get the lighting correct, they have signed the rotor. I know that with this he wasn't happy, it was slightly off, so sort of 0.1 millimeters or something. He's adjusted it for the actual production model, so that will be corrected. And also that will take me on to the bezel. Again, that's a slight difference he's made. So they weren't happy with the stiffness, so I'll let you listen to the bezel, which I think is, I can see what he means. It's probably a little bit stiff, but the clicks are fantastic. And yeah, it doesn't line up, unfortunately, but we'll talk about that a bit later. But yeah, ceramic bezel insert, and yeah, very, very nice indeed. The crown is a screw down crown, and it is signed. I'll try and get it right. It does have the C for their logo, which you also see at the sort of just below the 12 on the dial. Similar, this is the same what they've got engraved onto the crown, which is cool. The strap material, as I've already alluded to, is stainless steel, and it is all brushed bracelet, which I like. And there are screw pins, and the pins fit fantastically well into the links. They're very, very well done. It's a mill clasp, and as you can see again, you've got the Clements with the logo and then in script writing underneath. And it does have a diver's extension, very, very easy to use. You just sort of pull it this way and it opens, and obviously then you just push it back together. It's on a ratchet system, and it will close for you. So I think that's very, very good, especially if you're going to take it out in hot weather or you dive in. It's so easy just to have a little bit on the fly adjustment. You could just do one or whatever just to make it fit a bit better. I do like divers extensions like this. I do think they're really cool, and it's a mill clasp, as I said. It's all milled, and it's got a diver's extension, and it does also have 3 levels of micro adjustment. So chances are you're going to be able to get the perfect fit with this watch. The crystal covering that dial is a sapphire crystal, and I'm sure that's not going to be massively surprising given the sort of £400-ish price point of this watch. I think we'd all hope to get sapphire crystal for that sort of price point. For the eagle-eyed of you, you'll be able to see down at the 6 o'clock, it does say it's 200 meters water resistance. That would give you about 20 atmospheres of water resistance. So yeah, you shouldn't have to worry about taking a swimming and the like. You should be fine. The weight will appear in the top right hand corner. As always, it's in and around 151.5 grams, roughly, give or take a very, very small amount, but that's roughly how much it weighs. But let's have a look at the dial now, guys, in a bit more detail. And I think the dial was beautiful. I love that the sunburst blue, almost fading and graduating into a sort of like a darker blue and black sort of colour. I do love the dial on this. It's got a minute track going around the outer edge. Inside that, you've got all applied indices. You've got Arabics at the 12 and 6. Everywhere else you've got battens, just sort of denoting every hour. Below the Arabics at the 12, you've got the C for Clements, and underneath that you've got Clemence Photic, outlined in the fact it's the Photic Diver. Above the Arabics at the 6, you've got automatic 200M, just outlined in the fact it's a 200 meter diver, and it is an automatic movement inside. So, and as I said, it's a 9039 movement. I'll unwind it. It will go to the first position if you like. You can hand wind it, and if you take it out, I'll wait till it gets to 12. You take it out, it will hack. It'll just go straight to that because there's no ghost position, and this isn't a date movement. So I put it to 20 past 8, which I quite like because then you can see everything. You put it back in, it will then start up again. I can hand wind it, and as I said, if I take it back out, it will stop. Back in, it will start, and then I'll screw it up. And knurling on this is done very, very well. Very, very easy to sort of engage with the watch and unscrew it and stuff. No problems with that. But guys, that's the dial, and I must say I do like the dial. I think it's beautiful, very, very nice. But let me pop it on the wrist quickly. I'm not sure how many links Tom did take out, but I know I had to take one more out. And then what I did, just to try and get sort of like the best fit for myself, I have used sort of like one level of micro adjustment. There is 3. I'm using the middle one currently just to get that perfect level of micro adjustment for me. And then that's what it looks like on my wrist. Yeah, very striking watch. I do think this is going to do fantastically well. when it goes on Kickstarter, and I will be supporting it and put it on my Instagram. So do keep your eyes peeled, guys, for this. But that would now take me on to what I think is pants and pucker about the watch. And as you know, I always do start with pants. I like to go on a high with pucker. So what I think is pants, I kind of mentioned it already, the bezel alignment. I hasten to add, I'm sure it will be rectified by the production model. But yeah, this doesn't line up, which was disappointing. I was hoping it would. It didn't matter how much I tried, I couldn't get the bezel to line up with the markings on the minute track on the dial. It just won't happen. It's always slightly off, which is a bit of a shame. The lug fit, so it's quite loose. It doesn't. The tolerance is not great in terms of it conforming to the case. And also, what I'm not a big fan of is the fact it overhangs. I would like it to have conformed to the case just a little bit better in terms of the fitment. So fitting in terms of snug, not a lot of wiggle room, but also not overhanging, and sort of fitting the case nicer would have been good. And also the bracelet link. So I know this is quite common, but so it's made to look like a 3-piece, but it's actually in fact one. It's been fused together. I would like to have seen that as a 3-piece link personally. Maybe I'm asking for too much, but I think that would have been a little bit better personally. So yeah, 3-piece link would have been better, but it's one made to look like 3. So just to surmise what I think is pants, because they're the only things that I've looked at that I could really pick holes in at the moment, is the bezel alignment, the lug fit, and the bracelet links. What I think is pucker, yeah, a bit more, to be honest. I think this is a nice watch. I do like the hands and indices. They're all applied so well. I do like how the length of the second hand reaching out and almost touching the line for the minute track. The minute is literally touching the marker as well, and the hour is almost kissing the inside of the applied indices. So I think in terms of the measurements and everything else with that, that's done fantastically well. And I do like the applied indices as well. I think they're done fantastically well. And I like the contrast from the Arabics at the 12 and the 6 as well. I think that's pretty cool. The dial, as I spoke about already, in terms of the colour they've got going on, I do think it looks beautiful. The loom, yeah, the loom's fantastic. They've not sort of scrimped on loom. They've definitely applied a few layers. It looks fantastic. The movement, I love the movement. If you know me, you know that I love Miyota 9000 series movements. They're one of my favourite movements. I love the sweep it gives you. I love the reliability. I love the fact that we'll just keep going and going. They're fantastic movements. The clasp, as I've said before, the clasp is fantastic. Fully milled, 3 levels of micro adjustments, all brushed. As you can see, it's a bit scuffed because this is their prototype and a diver's extension. But yeah, the clasp is very nice, guys. I think they've performed very well. And the fit and finish generally. So I know I mentioned a few things in terms of the lug fitting and stuff, but in terms of the brushing, the chamfered polished edge, I think that's literally one of the only polished surfaces on the watch really, in terms of that chamfered edge. But yeah, everything else is done to such a high standard. And for me, brushed surfaces on a watch is preferable because I'm quite a clumsy guy and I sort of bash it and stuff. So if I polish surfaces, it kind of looks not too clever in not too long a period of time. So yeah, I'd go with the fit and finish. So just to surmise quickly, guys, what I think is pucker, I'd go with the hands and indices. I'd go with the dial. I'd go with the loom, the movement, the clasp, and the fit and finish of the watch generally. I think it's done to a very good standard. And that would now take me on to whether I'd recommend this watch. And I can categorically say I would. Like I said, the things that I've picked holes in are things that I've got to find little bits wrong with the watch. Not wrong with it, but things that you could possibly do better next time. And for a first attempt from Tom, I think he's done fantastically well. He's very passionate about his watch, and I can feel that. You can see it in the detail of the watch. Loads of companies that come out with their first watch, there's a lot more glaring issues than Tom's got with this. So Tom, very well done, mate. This is a beautiful looking watch, and I would not be surprised if I started getting on Kickstarter and having a look for one myself. So yeah, well done, Tom. Yeah, definitely recommend this watch. Keep an eye out, guys, on Kickstarter. As I've said already, I will start putting links up and stuff closer to the time in September when this watch does go live, because they've got a couple of different variations they're going to do. So do keep an eye out. But guys, let me know what you think about this watch, and maybe any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And as always say, don't forget to like and subscribe, and always watch your time. Take care, guys. All the very best.